And welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. As you can see, we had some difficulties and some issues. Not really difficulties and issues. It's just that every time I am online for an hour, for some reason it likes to kick me off, and I don't understand why. But it really does annoy me whenever I'm online and I'm got my groove going, and everything's just like flowing along, and all of a sudden I get kicked off because of time constraints or something like that. But I don't know. Hold on a second. And because of that, it just kind of screwed me up, and now who knows what's going on. But we got everything back up and running now, it seems like. But what I did want to do, okay, so where were we? I was going through my 7 stock picks, right, of 2021. And last one I was on Square, right? And I was showing you that on Square right now, right? Even though it did come back, and it does look like it's kind of like giving this little fall, right? It did break these lows, right? It kind of look like it's hitting some equal lows. But what I do like about this is this right here, right? These kind of equal highs, right? If I kind of move that away from there, the way you can see there is somewhat, I mean, it did break the high just a tidbit. As it moved down, it still bounced back up. And what I'm thinking is that we could see those highs break even higher, and it go up again, anywhere between the 150 to the 162% extension, which would be about 286. And I mean, don't expect this to be anytime soon, but it could be soon. Who knows? But this could be one of those ones that takes a while, or it could just be a short little 127 extension, or it might be the 114 extension. Who knows? I think this stock could be anywhere between 250 to 300. In a very short time. Again, it is like I said, with blockchain technology and everybody who's earning money in the crypto space, with all the different DeFi, and the different DEXs and all the different trading platforms that are out there, which I have one that I absolutely love. I have now joined Gate.io and fell in love with it. But basically there has to be somewhere, eventually there has to be, for people that are making money in these spaces, if they want to actually take the money out and put it in their pocket, instead of actually spending it on something, instead of putting it into Bitcoin, and spending it on something that could be spent on or that accepts Bitcoin, or putting it in Ethereum for someone that accepts Ethereum, or putting it in Dash for somebody that accepts Dash. They actually want to change that into dollar bills or euros or British pounds or whatever it is. There does need to be a payment processor, and Square tends to be that number one payment processor. So that's why I chose Square. Next is going to be CleanSpark. CleanSpark. What is CleanSpark? Oh wow, hold on. There's a class action lawsuit. Shareholder alert. Levi Korsinski LLP notify shareholders of CleanSpark and Corbo class election lawsuit. Plaintiff of the deadline March 22. Okay, this may be different news because this just happened today. Following statement being issued by all persons or entities purchased to otherwise acquired securities CleanSpark of the NASDAQ between December 31st and January 14th. You're hereby notified that a securities class action lawsuit has been commenced in the United States Court District for the Southern District of New York. To get more info, go to this wire 5. We maybe go into that. Contact Joseph Levi. Okay. The complaint alleges that throughout the class period of defendants issued. Okay, here we go. The complaint alleges that throughout the class period. Let me have a drink here. My mouth's getting a little dry. Right. That the company had overstated its customer and contract figures. Hold on. I just skipped over something. Throughout the class period, defendants issued materially false and or misleading statements and or failed to disclose that 1. The company had overstated its customer and contract figures. 2. That several of the company's recent acquisitions involved undisclosed related party transactions. And 3. That as a result of the foregoing, defendants' positive statements about the company's business operations and prospects were materially misleading and or lacked a reasonable basis. If you suffered a loss in CleanSpark, you have until March 22nd, 2021 to request or appoint you as a lead plaintiff. Your ability to share in any recent discovery or recovery doesn't require that you serve as a lead plaintiff. Levi Korsinski is a nationally recognized firm. His office in New York. Okay. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. I wonder what happened here. So CleanSpark is actually a really cool company. If I'm not mistaken, I may have the website pulled up somewhere. Yeah, okay, so CleanSpark is like decentralized energy, basically. So basically what they can do is, instead of like being energy on a grid, it's like energy that could be in, you know, I guess, well, this is what you're looking at here. Like, you know, it's called, I guess it's called MVSO, interdata modeling. So that there is basically energy coming from all these different supplies or you know, different types of energy. You know, energy storage. You know, customer building, solar panels, wind energy generators, microturbines, electric grid. All this stuff kind of goes into one localized, it says a localized group of electric sources and storage batteries that can normally operate connected to traditional grid. A microgrid can also disconnect to an island away from the traditional grid as economic or physical conditions dictate. So it can be like, I'm not for sure how to explain it. Our simple, affordable approach converts your energy expenses into secure, sustainable energy savings. So yeah, it's a very, very new concept, but it's like decentralizing energy, if that makes any sense. So, like, you know, there's decentralizing you know, money. You know, like there is a Bitcoin and things like that. But then you have something like this, like CleanSpark, which is like decentralizing energy. So it's like a smart contract, which I think uses ERC20 tokens for energy. So it's a really cool concept. Um, I thought it was going to be breaking, kind of breaking down barriers as far as how energy is consumed, how energy is made, how energy is stored, things like that. And now I am sitting here reading that CleanSpark may be having a class action lawsuit against them, which it looks like people, I'm not for sure people may have known about, but if this was to the rest of it, I don't think the rest of these look like, oh yeah, they kind of do. I wonder if there's same kind of dates, December 21st to January 8th. This is January 8th till January 14th. This one made the double top a little bit later. The double top December 17th, January 8th. January 8th, it seems like was a time that everybody was kind of topping. Right around here. Here's January 14th. This is probably January 8th. Yep. So yeah, so this looks more like the CleanSpark right here, as the Riot does. So interesting. I did not expect that from CleanSpark. I just now reading about that. Let's see here. Urges CleanSpark investors to submit their losses now. Securities fraud class action has been filed, and certain investors may have valuable claims. Here's where defendants misled investors about CleanSpark's business and operations by concealing that the company overstated contract and customer figures while touting the company's involvement in Bitcoin mining and providing advanced software and controls technology solutions to solve modern energy challenges. Investors began to learn the truth according to a complaint on January 14th. When the Culper Research published a scathing report entitled CleanSpark Back to the Trash Can. Oh no. Called CleanSpark shares uninvestable. Never mind. Let's move this off my list, guys. Don't know what to say. According to Culper, accuses CleanSpark of eventually fabricating and overstating claims customers contract. According to Culper, it has visited a microgrid project deployment site where the company claims it will provide power solutions to over 400 residential resort properties and saw zero construction, merely empty desert. Representatives of the company many empty promises. In response to the price of CleanSpark shares. Well, oh, okay, that's why it went down. But so some other things at that time, so didn't really even all that too weird to me. We're focused on investor losses in providing CleanSpark, and certain insiders tricked investors with fraudulent stock promotion scheme. Catherine Hagen Barman partner leading the investigation. If you are a CleanSpark investor, please click here to discuss your legal rights with you. Okay, whistleblowers, persons with non-person. Okay, so whistleblowers are, of course, protected. Wow, this is interesting because the way I saw CleanSpark was, okay, so I don't know if you guys have heard of Firefly Festival. Firefly Festival was this festival that was supposed to happen in the Bahamas, I think is what it was. And it was supposed to be on this remote island, and it was going to be this big massive music festival. And then it ended up being a disaster logistically, because they were overselling. They were basically overselling it for one. They were offering things that they could not offer. there was no electricity. And so whenever I saw CleanSpark, I thought, wow, I was like, if they could take, like, kind of like something like this and decentralize, an electrical grid, and place it somewhere else, and then, kind of battery powered and have it, as like a microgrid. This could be like a huge way to solve like things like that, like for festival's sake. And me being somebody who has been to music festivals, knows that power is definitely very hard to come by. I went to a music festival one time in 2015, and we brought a generator that was powered by the car battery. So we hooked up the car battery, right? And that is what actually, powered everything that we had there. So, we had a power strip. So we would have to like turn the car on, for every so long for the day, to make sure that the alternator was going so that the battery was charged and things like that. But, it would actually, power a skillet and things like that, because when you're in the middle of nowhere, you just don't have power. You're in a big parking lot with random strangers, and all you have is a tent in your car, and that's it. So how is your phone going to stay alive for 4 days or 5 days or however long you're out there? Or if you're at Burning Man, for example, like things like that. So whenever I saw CleanSpark, I thought that this was the solution to that. And so I thought that a decentralized way of doing energy was a really cool way of doing things. And the fact that they're misleading people, and that is exactly actually not what's happening, or supposedly not what's happening. This is gonna tank. I'm actually glad I ran upon this, and I am glad I found this in the nick of time. Wow, because I mean this just happened a couple days ago. So I'm sorry, I didn't even like read this. I just read the company's website, and I read a couple things about them online, and I was like, wow, I was like, this is actually a really cool company. This could be one of the next big things, So unfortunately, let's mark CleanSpark out of our conversation, or let's keep an eye on it and see what happens. You know, um, they have an earnings call coming up on February 9th, and we should see what that earnings call is like. Um, Maybe if anything, if you're on Robinhood, invest in a dollar, right? Because if you are an investor in any kind of company, you are invited to their earnings calls. You can afford to lose a dollar if not, so you can definitely listen in onto that earnings call and to see what is going on with the company, and probably hear outraged customers is what you would probably hear. So that might be interesting just to invest a dollar in for, to be completely honest. So we should see how CleanSpark comes out on this one. Wow, what a interesting thing. Okay, all right, the last one I have, and last but not least, is going to be well, no, actually there was one before NVIDIA. I don't know why it's not showing up, but it is AMD micro devices. These are of course devices that are used to basically build especially stuff for like Bitcoin mining, things like that, associated with G. So if we click over here and just kind of read about it, advanced micro devices may see higher gross margins, revenue associated with GPU servers. So GPUs is I think graphics processing units. I am not mistaken. So let me let's just look up the term GPU, not PGPU, so I'm not misleading anybody. uh, I was correct. Graphics processing unit. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was right. So graphics processing units, they are top dollar right now. I have a friend of mine who just wants one for his computer, and he can't get a decent one without having to pay $1,000 for one. Like that's how much these things are right now. They are just through the roof. He's telling me about a new one that one company has come out with. I forgot what he said. It's supposed to be about half the price and about double the speed of how it makes everything. But yeah, people are hoarding them. They're wanting them because these graphics processing units are what generate and create Bitcoin mining or any kind of crypto mining in general. So these graphics processing units are the core of Bitcoin mining and any kind of crypto mining. So let's see where AMD devices are right now. It's at $85, so it is a little pricey. But again, with Robinhood, you don't have to own a whole share. You can own partial shares. Also, if you use Stash, Stash is another good way to invest. It doesn't how do I put it? With Robinhood, you can kind of time the market, but there's definitely way other avenues that you can time the market like perfectly, to get the perfect percentage or the perfect percent, when you want to enter, and then also, you can exit like right at the perfect time. There are things like that, or you can set limits and things like that. Stash doesn't do any of that. Stash just kind of helps you build a portfolio. It doesn't give you the ability to enter and exit the market at a specific time that you want, but it does allow you to build a portfolio. So if you were just new to building portfolios and new to investing in general, Stash could be an option, and then you could go from there. So, and they also allow for partial investing. You don't have to buy a whole share of something. So those are two ways you can buy partial shares of things, right? So one is through Stash, and one is through Robinhood. And I also have both links down below to referrals to Stash and Robinhood. If you never sign up for both, you can sign up for both in the links below. I did enjoy Stash while I had it. Plus Stash, what's cool about Stash is that it gives you quizzes and stuff as you're going through, in investing. So you kind of learn how to be an investor as you're investing more money. You can set up a recurring time you want to invest, things like that, and either you can put it in your Stash account, and then divvy up however much you want later, or you can say I want $5 to go to here or $5 to go to there. The only thing I don't like about Stash is that they do have they have what's called like pre-packaged plans, I guess you could say, or pre-packaged ETFs is what they actually are. They don't tell you that, but in the app it just makes it seem like that it's a great thing to be investing in. Like one is called like carbon saving companies, and it has all these different companies that are promising to save carbon. They're actually called iShares. And if you know anything about iShares are made by BlackRock. And BlackRock is a Chinese-owned entity that has invaded the United States Wall Street. So the Chinese Communist Party is actually reaping benefits from people that are trying to retire, from from our markets. So that's one thing I take notice of, and I try to make people wary of. Just be careful of things like that if you're going to be using stash. So AMD, let's see here, wherever it breaks this high here, right? I would say this would be the low, I think. After it breaks the low, goes to the high. Does it come back to the 50? Yes, it does. Comes back to the 50 again, actually. Then it moves up. Now I guess what we're gonna do, right? I think since it's now hit a high, right? I think the high it's hit is over here. It really hasn't made a big movement. But I guess here would be the area you'd be looking for, right? So now has it came down and hit the 50% of that movement? Yes, it has. So now I would expect AMD to possibly be moving up. If not, what it could be doing, and as you can see by looking at the for one, the RSI, it is moving downwards, and it is moving still in a way of the market. And then here you're looking at the MACD. How it just all of a sudden bottom. Well, of course, that was from one day to the next. That was from Thursday to Friday. It just bottomed out. It tried to pick back up, and it just kept going downwards after that. So I think on Monday is going to be the day that everything picks back up. I think Friday everybody was selling off, possibly either reassessing what their portfolio is going to be, or taking profits and going out and partying for the weekend. Whatever it was that would happen on Friday, I think it was just it was just a market type thing. You see it happen. It's not like it's anything rare. And then last and not least is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is the #1 GPU processing company, way bigger than AMD. So they're also on the NASDAQ. Of course, it says here, solid Q4 results, improving PC demand environment, boosting performance, but the upside limited until long-term manufacturing plan is in place. All right, so a chipmaker reported Q4 earnings per share of $1.52 versus Street View 111. Management aspects Q1 EPS of 110 on revenue and 17.5 billion, which RBC said was quite conservative compared to the forecast of EPS 1.20 and revenue of 17.7 billion. Hey, whatever. Quite conservative. That sounds like pretty obnoxious to me, but whatever. Looking ahead on the upside, more macro related and data centric, PC centric, share loss will likely occur in 2021 until a long-term manufacturing plan is in place. RBC said Intel noted that the majority of its products will be made internally through 2023, which would likely exacerbate market share losses in the PC market, RBC added. RBC maintained its underperformed rating on Intel and raised its price target on the stock from $47 to $47 from $40. Price range is $7. So, question here being is manufacturing capabilities. It seems like they're having manufacturing problem, long-term manufacturing problem. And I think that may be related to China. Being with the whole COVID issue, I am not 100% sure. Links with us. I see motor battery. Okay. What does this have? I guess Nvidia build China's largest battery manufacturer, also US based. Okay, Nvidia is US based. Okay. Okay, so let's read the most recent one, which is January 2nd. It's flat 1.9 weekly climb. COVID plan. Okay. Reaction to the inauguration, whatever. COVID-19. Who cares about Biden? The market. But anyways, Nvidia, the largest GPU manufacturer. So these are the ones that everybody wants to get their hands on to create Bitcoins. So that's why they are priced extremely high. I would probably expect a stock split soon, especially maybe after an earnings call. They may be looking at a stock split probably over the summer. I would I mean, maybe not that soon. I don't know. Maybe I'm just throwing words out here, but I would expect a stock split soon, especially from these guys, because they're just absolutely crushing it and have been crushing it for quite some time. We go back to to March. I mean, they were still $185 in March, and now they're up to almost probably peaked as almost $600. Looks like it's 588 actually. Let me do a horizontal ray with a magnet on top of that, because I think those are about top equals. But this is a good sign right here, because again, there's liquidity above here, which means when it comes up here and everybody thinks it's going to sell, it's probably going to turn around and go right back up through it. Nvidia is looking good. So people who have been investing in Nvidia for quite some time, which I know have, looking at good gains. So anyways, that has been my video of, if you caught part one, I'll link part one to this as well. But this has been my video of my top stock choices of 2021. Also, of course, other than top stock choices, what you do have, right? Even though it may not be looking good right now, it would be a thing called cryptocurrency. If you don't know what cryptocurrencies are, I think Bitcoin is going to be definitely a huge factor in this. I mean, I used Bitcoin last night just to put some money. Well, actually, it was Ethereum. Never mind, but still, same concept. You put money in something, you switch it. Or what I did is I bought it on Coinbase, and then I had to switch it to Gate.io, since you can't purchase actual coins or something like that on Gate.io, and then purchase whatever kind of coin that you want from that. So it's actually kind of cool. So see here. Just gonna see if anybody had any questions, or if anybody wanted to make any comments or wanted me to make any shout outs or anything like that. But first, I would like you guys to do, especially since if you're watching these channels and you do like the information that is provided, if you could do me a huge favor. Analysis, which can be kind of boring, and I'm going to try to get a little bit more into the news cycle, as well as you know, kind of looking into specific stocks, into cryptocurrencies as a general, or as a whole, and see you know, what we could be looking at, you know, moving forward, as a society, basically. Because I want to help change things. I don't just want to be some nerd that's looking at charts and then, you know, drawing them out. Even though I do think it helps people, and I know people, I especially love looking at charts and drawing them out and trying to make predictions and seeing where liquidity is and things like that. I think understanding, you know, the fundamentals of where we are as a country, and trying to move forward, and trying to get things going is going to be a little bit more important than anything. So again, thank you so much for watching, and hope you have the good rest of your Sunday evening. The market is open, and has been open for about an hour now. Indices are now open. The dollar index may now be open. So if you are a trader, for Forex, and any other kind of well, in Forex, I guess you could say, for currencies, the markets are open. Good luck out there in the trading world. Don't get burned, and always just remember to what's that thing you're supposed to do? Oh yeah, keep your pants on.